This is Chapter 5, Greece. Section 5, Spread of the Hellenistic Culture. Cultural interaction is the main idea. The Hellenistic culture came about as a blend of Greek and other influences from Alexander's empire. Egypt, Persian, Indian, Greek, all coming together as one new culture. Western civilization today continues to be influenced by diverse cultures. Vocabulary: Hellenistic, Alexandria, Pharos, Aristarchus, Eratosthenes, Euclid, Archimedes, Colossus of Rhodes, Doric, Ionic, Corinthian. As a result of Alexander the Great's tolerance of the cultures he took over and adapting of some of their customs, Greek, Egyptian, Persian, and Indian cultures blended together to form the Hellenistic culture, which went throughout the empire. Even a common language with elements of all of these cultures was formed, called Koine. It spread through the empire rooted in Greek. It allowed for a wider exchange of ideas among the different cultures. It was the city of Alexandria in Egypt that Alexander had created where the center of this Hellenistic culture was going to end up. The city became a focal point for exchange of ideas and learning. A crowning achievement in Alexandria, and one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, was the Pharos, the lighthouse of Alexandria, estimated at about 450 to 600 feet tall based on the ruins that have been found of it. Hellenistic culture allowed for an advance in science and technology. Some of the more famous names would be Aristarchus, who estimated the sun to be at least 300 times the size of the earth, compared to people before him who thought that the sun was smaller than the earth. Still nowhere near the accurate size, but at least he was putting forward the idea that it was larger. He also was the first to propose the idea that the earth and other planets orbited the sun. Nobody was willing to support him in this. This divided into 2 categories: the geocentric universe, or earth-centered, where everything orbits around the earth, and the heliocentric, or sun-centered, where everything orbits around the sun, as we now know to be the case. In addition, we have Eratosthenes. Eratosthenes estimated the circumference of the earth as between 28,000 and 29,000 miles. Today we estimate the measurement at 24,860. A bit smaller than he had estimated, but still he was much closer than people of his time. The way I remember this: Eratosthenes starts with E-R-A-T-O, and it's kind of similar to the word earth, E-A-R-T-H. So I remember that he is the one who did the measurements for the earth. Aristarchus, I stress the middle syllable, Aristarchus, because the sun is a star. He estimated its size, bit short but estimated, and proposed the idea of the Earth and other planets going around the sun, or the center star for Aristarchus. We also have the Greek that every student loves to hate, Euclid. Euclid wrote a book called Elements. In this book, he presented 465 rules for geometry and their proof. Euclid was the one who invented, in effect, the first geometry textbook. Deal with it. Next we have Archimedes, who estimated the value of pi, 3.145, not apple and cherry and other desserts. He did for circles what Pythagoras did for triangles, figuring out all kinds of different formulas for it. Invented several scientific tools, simple machines such as the levers, the screws, compound pulleys, block and tackle. My favorite story of his is about when he discovered how to measure displacement in water. If you have an irregularly shaped item, something weird shaped, and you want to know its area, instead of trying to figure out its area, what you do is you put it underneath an area of water in a square container, and you measure how much the water rises. By figuring out the area of the rise of the water, you now know the area of the item, because that's how much water it had to push aside using its own area. I really like Archimedes. This guy is a serious trip in history. So make sure you know him. He will be on a test. I like it. You're stuck with it. As well as science, art flourished in the Hellenistic age. Hellenistic artists tried to put as much realism into their art as possible. Unlike the classical art that we talked about before, these people did want the emotion. They did want the wrinkles, the scars, the real form of the person. Not like the classical stuff where they were trying for emotionless perfection. They wanted realism in Hellenistic. Make sure you understand this difference, because on the chapter test you will be given a picture of two statues and you will have to tell me if it's classic or Hellenistic style. The largest Hellenistic sculpture known was the Colossus of Rhodes, another one of the Seven Wonders. Some of the features described in the Colossus of Rhodes became inspiration for the later production of the Statue of Liberty. The torch lighting the way into the harbor, the points of the crown representing the seven seas. But unlike the Colossus of Rhodes, the Statue of Liberty carries a book recording the names of the people who come to join the Americas, and on it inscribed the date of the Declaration of Independence, whereas the Colossus of Rhodes strides between the two areas of land of Asia and Europe, carrying a bow and arrows to defend against possible invasions. Lastly, we discussed the development of Greek columns, something Greek architecture is known for. In the beginning you have the Doric columns. I remember this as Doric starting with a D and the word dull starting with a D. Flat-topped, simplistic columns. Dull. Doric. You also have the Ionic columns, the in-between ones that have the curled scrollwork on the side, kind of like ram's horns. These are the in-between style, or Ionic. I, Ionic, I, in-between. The Corinthian columns, C Corinthian, C crazy looking, as you will note, have a lot of little areas sticking off, carved leaves curling out from the column. Doric, Ionic, Corinthian. You will have to identify these on the test. To give you a quick rundown on how to do this, look at the top two pictures here. These are both from the Lincoln Memorial pictured below them. Identify which kind of column is on the left side, which kind is on the right. This is just a good way to practice.